Hey guys, it's Loves to Loom here, and today I'm going to show you how to create my new Guardian Angel bracelet. This bracelet is my own original design, and it does only take approximately 100 bands to make depending on your wrist size. This bracelet here will be for the 4th of July, but I will also be dedicating it to my biological mother who recently passed away, as well as my mother-in-law. She is deceased as well, but both of their birthdays are actually on the 4th of July, so I want to dedicate this to them. Also, before I go, I want to quickly show you this version here. It is very similar, but I did just one tiny difference when looping. So if you like this version, I will show you how to do that as well. So without further ado, let's get started. To make this bracelet, you need one bar pin, your hook, and one C-clip. I recommend having the arrows facing the right direction for hooking purposes. And I will be sticking with my red, blue, and white color since it is for 4th of July and for my mom and mother-in-law's birthday. So we will only be using these for front pins right here. These four pins going from here to here is what I will be laying my border band on, and then going on the inside will be our middle band, obviously. So to start laying our border bands, I'm going to start with my white on each side. We need to twist the first layer on. So you just want to twist it on like an infinity sign. Just like that. And for the first middle band, we're going to twist that on as well. I'm going to do red for my first middle band. Now we need to add on our border bands again. This time we do not need to twist, so just lay that straight across on both sides. Just like that. And now we can actually start one of our hooking steps. And before I forget, I do just quickly want to say that you do need to know how to do the inverted stitch for this bracelet. We will be switching back and forth to just explain really quickly. If you have done my Swap Force bracelet, it is very similar to that as far as the steps go. Basically, every time we lay our outside border bands, we're going to be switching the step. So we'll lay our outside bands, do the stitch, lay the middle band, do the same stitch, but then when we come back to laying our border bands again, we're going to switch the stitch. So I'll do it and you'll see exactly what I mean. So the first stitch we're going to do is we're just going to bring the bottom up and over on these pins. So grab the very bottom, bring it up and over, and do the same on the right side. These two end bands, we will always just be bringing the bottom up and over, but it depends on which design or bracelet you want to do. Depends on how many bands you want on the end. If you liked the second version I showed you, then you want to loop them now because there's two bands. So bring the bottom up and over, but if you like the original, then you want to wait for there to be 3 on these pins. So I'm doing the original, so I'm just going to push these down. And now we're going to go ahead and lay on another layer. So we need to lay on our middle band, just straight across. And we need to do that regular stitch again. So grab the bottom band, bring it up and over on both of the pins. Push that down. Now we're going to add on our border band. So now that we are back to our border bands, we need to switch the stitch. So this is like the start of, the next stitch. So now we need to do the inverted. So go in the second band, grab that bottom band and bring it up. Doing the same on the right pin, move that blue, grab the bottom and bring it up. So now that we have the 3 bands on the side pins, you can grab that very bottom band and loop it up and over. Make sure you do both sides. Push that down, lay your middle band again. We're going to do the inverted stitch again. So move that white out of the way, grab the bottom and bring it up. Do the same on the right side. Push your bands down, and we're going to lay our border bands again. It may seem a little confusing at first since we're switching the stitch, you know, every so often, but I promise after you do it a few times, you really do get the hang of it. So now that we are once again back at our border bands, we need to switch the stitch again. So we're going back to the regular stitch. So we're going to grab the bottom band, bringing it up and over. And now loop the sides, bringing the bottom band up and over. Push your bands down. And I did have a follower who actually said that, and I don't have her name, but I will put a comment below. She said what she did was like, she had like a tool or something that she would sit on the right side of her to remind her, like for example, she used, say, an extra hook would mean that she did the inverted stitch, and she would put it on her right so that she wouldn't forget which stitch she was on. So I don't know if that makes sense, but it made a lot of sense to me, and I thought that was a good idea so you don't forget. So each time you need to switch, you can move your hook, and that can tell you where you left off. But with anywho, back to the bracelet. So laying our middle band again. We are doing the inverted stitch, so we need to go in the middle band. Well, first let me make sure we are on the inverted stitch. Hold on. No, we are not on the inverted stitch. See, I almost forgot. And the way that I knew that, it's maybe hard to see on here, but my white band is what I looped last, and I can see that it's coming from underneath. It's white, so it's hard to see. If it was coming from in the middle, then I would know that it was inverted. So that can be a way to tell, too, if you forget. So you guys probably knew that I should be doing the regular one. But anyway, so grab the bottom band, bring it up. Bottom band, bringing that up. Pushing your bands down. Laying on our border bands. And now we're switching that stitch, going back to the inverted stitch. Don't forget to loop your sides, grabbing the bottom bands on both sides. And we are still doing the inverted stitch on the middle. Now it's time to lay our borders again. So now we're going to be switching again. So now we're going to do the regular stitch. Grab the bottom bands, bring them up and over, and then loop the sides, bringing the bottoms up and over. Back to my middle. Still doing the regular. I do think this bracelet's a lot easier than my swap force, though, because there's not as many bands. There's only one middle band, so I think it's a little easier. But we are doing, we have to switch again, so we are doing the inverted stitch. And then looping the sides up and over. So as you see, we definitely have a pattern forming. I'm just going to continue on with my bracelet silently, just so you guys can kind of follow along. And then, of course, I'll go off and finish the length and show you guys how to close it out. Okay, so I think you guys probably got the gist of it down. So you can probably give your little bracelet a little bit of a tug. You can kind of start seeing it form. Don't get worried about how it looks right now, because as it grows, it will come together. And the sides will actually tuck like under the bracelet. So I'm going to go ahead off of the camera and finish up the length of my bracelet, and then I'll come back and show you guys how to close it up. If you have any problems, feel free to watch the previous instructions. Alrighty guys, so I did go ahead and finish up the length of my bracelet, so now we can go ahead and get it closed up together. Basically, you just want to make sure that the last bands you laid and looped were on the center. You do not want the last bands to be your end bands here. So if you did it correctly, your color band will be on top, or your middle band, I should say, will be on top. There will be 2 bands on these pins and 2 bands on the ends, unless you did the second version, you will only have 1 band on these pins. So if you did it like I did, it should look just like this with the 2 bands on the sides. We're just going to take these 2 bands off of the ends and bring them into the center. So carefully just remove them from the left pin, bring them in, and just lay it right on top of that pin there. And we're going to do the same on the right side. Just remove them from the pin and bring them right over to the pin next to it. Just like that. So you should have 4 bands on your center pin now. And now what we're going to do is just lay 1 single band, which I'm going to use the same color as my border, and I'm just going to lay it straight across, just like that. And it's white, so I know it's a little hard to see. So now we need to bring all these bottom bands up and over. If you cannot grab all 4 at once, you can just go in here, grab the top 2, bring them over, and then get the bottom 2 and bring them over. Coming on the right side, we're going to do the same thing. So I'm going to grab the top 2 first and bring them over, and then the bottom 2. Just like that, and give it a little pull just to pull it down a little. And now you just need to bring these 2 ends together. So I'm just going to take my right side and bring it over to the left. And hold on to your bands when you do that, because it seemed like it wants to pop off. So now all you need to do is slide your hook down and apply your C-clip. You can take it off of the pin and do it, or do it like this. Pretty easy either way with this design. Pop it off of your loom. Give it a stretch. It should already have formed and like fallen into place like how mine looks. But if it didn't, you can kind of just like squish the sides and it will help it get that like round boxier look. But anyway, going on the other side, you may have a couple like looser ends. I'm trying to get focus here. See, this one is just completely hanging out, so I definitely want to use that one. And then I just grabbed this other white one on this end, and that's what I used to clip it to. Just like that. So that is all you do. And there you have my completed Guardian Angel bracelet. So I hope you guys like it as much as I do. Like I said, this is dedicated to my mom and my mother-in-law for 4th of July. So it's also a 4th of July bracelet, but that's also their birthday. So this goes out to them. And then again, this is the one that I made originally. I think I like the blue background a lot better. It just really makes it pop more. So maybe having a darker background would probably be the best way to go for this design. But anyway, if you do like this bracelet, please give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button below as well. You can check me out on Instagram at Loves to Loom. And I will see you all at my next tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!